Angelo is here from Steel City Storytellers to talk about Grit, an event benefiting life's work of Western Pennsylvania on March 9th at Kingfly Spirits. How are you, Angelo?
I'm excellent. How are you, Larry?
I'm fine, thank you. Ethel Merman packs quite a punch in that song.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about your life as a storyteller and about Steel City Storytellers. Then we'll talk about the benefit too, but I'd like to know a little bit more about you and about the group.
Yes. So the group is I started in the fall of 2019. So I have always been interested in the spoken word, specifically stories, not so much poetry. And I am a semi-retired lawyer. I'm approaching age 70. And the last couple of years, I've been looking for activities that merge some of my professional interests with some of my personal interests. I was attending the Moth regularly at the Rex Theater and had told there about a dozen times, and also had told at other Moth locations in Minnesota and elsewhere, and enjoyed being on the stage and talking about true stories, and decided that as I approached semi-retirement and ultimately retirement, that I would be interested in promoting some more forums for people to get up and tell stories, and also to use storytelling as an educational tool. So I've been retained by law firms and different organizations to go in to help stories tellers in their professional work. So stories are not just entertainment, but stories are inspiring. They connect people, they heal, they educate. They are stories, and I focus often as stories as persuasion. So that was an interest of mine. So I started the LLC, the group, just myself. I was starting to get a few gigs to do storytelling at apartment complexes and different organizations. Then the pandemic hit, so everything went quiet, obviously, for a long time. And then when we eased out of the pandemic, the Moth, the organization the NPR promotes from New York, decided not to do Pittsburgh anymore and to stop it here, and the Rex Theater closed. So I decided to go ahead and start a monthly storytelling event, and Kingfly Spirits was happy enough to host us, and we did 3 shows so far, and we have our 4th show coming up March 9th, which is Grit.
What a great story behind the story. And storytelling, I mean, it goes back to the origins of the human condition, sharing stories and passing history, whether they be true stories or fanciful tales. But I particularly love to hear, people's lived stories, and I'm sure a lot of folks are sharing those as part of the work that you're doing. And as you mentioned, to heal, inspire, connect people through often knowing that other people experience things similar to you. That's one of the greater feelings you can get as you listen to stories. So you're going to be doing this benefit. Is Grit the topic or the theme for the evening?
Yes, it's the theme, and the Moth would always have usually one-word themes, and the stories would loosely fit around that. So our monthly show, it's called Just Saying, and it's usually the second Wednesday of the month, and we have shows planned through November. We're skipping August and December, and we pick a theme, and then we pick a charity of the month. So this month is Life's Works on the South Side, and we have a segment in our show where each of the storytellers will tell one what I call truth or lie, and it's maybe a 1, 2, 3 minute story, and we do them at the end of the first half Then we have an intermission. So this month we'll have 3 there, and then we'll have 3 at the end of the show. And the audience has to decide whether the story is 100% true or if it has some just truthiness and it's really false. And each audience member raises their hand for that to indicate if it's true or not, and then we count that. And for each correct answer, Steel City Storytellers gives $1, and other organizations will donate to, like the Fireborn Studios on the South Side, the Ceramics, the Campbell Miller Durant law firm, State House Representative Emily Kincaid, and there are a few others that we donate. We'd like to actually get more people donating, and then that will raise usually a few $100s for the charity.
What a great idea! Yeah. I like the audience participation part of it. It's almost like to tell the truth, right? You get to vote on that.
Yes, it's exactly like that. And the stories are amazing. The people, some of the things, some of the things that have happened to people, and some of the things that I've had happen. So my story coming up. I have a story about the Barbara Walters, the newscaster, in New York, of my encounter with them, and many of the stories are just these brief encounters, and they add a little spice, but more of the audience participation, and we have variability, meaning that some of the people think it's true, some of it's false, and that makes it a very engaging for the people. So it's not just passive.
Well,
then we also help a charity. Yeah,
sounds like a lot of fun. Well, if you go to steelcitystorytellers.com, you can learn more. The event is March 9th at King Fly Spirits, 7:30 to 9:30, and it will benefit a great organization that you've chosen, Life's Work of Western Pennsylvania. We've linked to their website, so you can learn more about them as well. Angelo, we just have another minute or so. Anything else you'd like to mention?
Well, I think that the storytelling, as you noted, is how we connect with people. And it can be as informal as sitting around the kitchen table or the campfire and just sharing. And that's how our culture has grown, as you indicated, from the dawn of memorial. We passed history and we communicated orally. It was only in relatively recent times that writing, and now obviously electronics. One of the things that I am disappointed in, maybe a little disturbed by, is the trend for people to not talk to each other and to text and to email. And I fear that some of the younger generation has lost the ability to communicate effectively orally. So that's part of our mission down the road, is to bring storytelling, and I've done a couple presentations to middle schools and high schools, and I'd like, with the pandemic, that is off the table, but now we're getting back, and so we will volunteer to go into these type of schools, some educational institutions, and even nursing homes and places, and send a storyteller, and for the youth, the younger people, to get them to understand that they have to speak to people, not just text and email.
Well, excellent. And I hope we can make arrangements to have you perhaps come here to our studios sometime and tell on the radio. I think it would be a lot of fun for folks. In fact, we can have people predict or people try to determine whether you've told a truth or a lie.
I would love to do that, because some of our stories, and many of my stories, are about encounters with famous people. Carl Lewis, the Olympic runner, Goldie Hawn, some presidents of African nations. In Ukraine, I spent 3 trips to Ukraine and have some interesting stories for there, and that's obviously at the top of the news. So I appreciate any invitation to come back, either to be interviewed or to come to the studios and do something more extensive.
Well, you bet. Keep up the good work, Angelo. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.